Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We got our good friend of the show, Corey McKinnon, back. If you guys remember Corey, he's Canada's best real estate coach, real estate investment coach. He coaches some of the top real estate investors that I know in Ontario, and probably some of the ones I don't know as well. You know, some of the people who've been on this channel who've grown super quickly, they're a bunch of your clients, right? They're in your coaching company. Not only that, you are obviously a real estate investor yourself. You're doing a church conversion, you're buying a storage unit, you've grown this business massively. By the time this comes out, your YouTube channel should be launching or very close to it. So a man of many businesses, man of many skills, and yeah. So welcome back to the show.
Cheers! Thanks for having me there.
Cheers.
Mark. We met through sort of YouTube and social media, and it's been great to stay in touch. Hit a couple rounds of golf this year, and inspired me to join the Porsche Club too. So there you go.
Well, hey, if anybody wants to buy my Porsche, I'm thinking of selling it. You guys can buy it for what I paid for it. I have my eye on something else.
That's right.
I don't have that much garage space. I'm kind of fascinated about storage units.
Cool.
I've never bought any, but I'm interested. I'm interested in businesses where I have tenants that pay me monthly, but I don't have to deal with
pretty much
tenants.
Yeah.
Right? And storage facilities kind of seem that way to me.
They are. Like it's one of those investments where you might not get all the upside as buying an apartment building, but you can make a lot of these smaller ones very virtual and easy to manage. Like right now with the guys managing it virtually, he doesn't even have like an automatic gate out front. So we're going to do some upgrades to it, like get an automatic gate with some punch code.
So what does he have? He has a padlock? Everyone gets a key?
He's got the business next door. So he just, when he goes home at night, he just locks it up every night, right?
And says, yeah, if I'm not here, screw you?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Amazing.
One of these guys, he bought it a long time ago, doesn't own anything, put the storage units on it 15 or 20 years ago.
So it's so funny. I literally had lunch like earlier this week with a guy. He has $250 million of residential real estate. He owns a crap ton, right? And he's like, I'm going to start buying industrial. He's like, I'm going to use the same strategy we use in residential on industrial. He goes, there's tons of these older gentlemen who bought these things 10, 20, 30 years ago. The rent is 20 to 40% below market value.
Yeah.
And on these industrial properties, you can basically say, okay, on lease renewal, so he knows the exact date. So if it's 2 years left on a lease, he knows in 2 years, he's now going to get market rent.
Yes.
So he's like, okay, I'm going to buy it at a 4.5 cap, but with market rent, I can get it up to a 7.5 cap.
Yes.
And then he's like, great. So in 2 years, I can refinance that at a 6 and pull out all my money and then not have to deal with residential tenants. And that's a little bit what you're kind of doing with this storage unit, right?
Yeah, like we'd be buying it at a 6 cap. And just by right sizing the rents, when we don't even have to wait 2 years, we can just maybe give them 3 months notice and say, this is what it's going to. If you don't like it, you can leave and we'll fill it up because there's a waiting list. And we're going to push it up to like a 9.5 cap, maybe even 10.
That's just with existing units.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to spend some money to do that because you're going to make the automated. You're going to say, hey, we're going to increase it. Yeah, you're going to be able to access it anytime you want.
Yes. And
we're going to have some cameras, I suppose, to...
Big time. Yeah, like there's enough space on site to do 90 more units.
Yeah, and it's how many units right now?
70.
70, okay.
So it's not even being half maximized. I mean, he's renting out some extra space to people who want to park their RV or their boat or whatever. But I mean, the building costs are still pretty reasonable. Like I was calling around, and there's companies out there that can build you the shells. I didn't get the prices up back on cement and asphalt, but the shells of them are about $25 a square foot.
That's really good.
So if you budget another 20 to 25 for cement, grading.
Even if you're 75 to get heated.
Yeah.
Like that's not bad. And I mean, what do you rent these things out a square foot at?
Well, he's so undervalued right now. I think they should be about $1.50 a square foot.
So $1.50 a square foot. And it's costing you 75.
It costs about 4 years to recoup all your costs.
Right. That's amazing. So you're making a 25% cash on cash return every year.
Yes. But, I mean, that's what I aim for in real estate anyways, but with the way less problems here. I mean, if they don't pay, you give like a 3 to 7 day notice. You
Auction Wars.
He sees their stuff. Or
was that storage wars?
Wars.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or you just call the junk collector guy. It's like, hey, give me a dump run, take this stuff to the dump. But usually try to auction it off so you can get some money for it.
Yeah, I know I have a buddy who owns 3, and he goes through an online company that does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but obviously.
Yeah, people must be sitting at home watching that stuff. So.
Well, he gave me the thing, and I looked at it the one time, and there was one unit, and I think, I don't know, must have had like 4 or 5 skids of flooring.
Okay, nice.
And I was like, I'll bid on that. I got units to do. It was a decent laminate. I'm like, at that time we were still using laminate, not. But yeah, I'm like, okay. So I bid. I didn't win it, but yeah. So I mean, so you're buying at a 6.5, and you're turning it into a 9.5, 10, without very little work.
Yes.
And then you're going to add another.
We'll probably do them in phases of like 20 to 30.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you get a waiting list. You say, are you committed? Great, prepay. We'll go build. The build only takes. Once everything's ready, these guys need 2 weeks to put their buildings down.
So, building permits, stuff like that, way easier, I'm assuming, because you don't have plumbing. You don't have. There's hydro, but
it's pretty easy. Like we're booking in our city council meeting. And with just on preliminary phone calls, they seem very positive to it. I think probably getting financing is going to be harder, more challenging than getting the actual permits and everything, right? They want a phase 1, which they probably won't find anything in phase 1. That's fine.
Yeah, unless the guy with the bus company has been dumping.
Yeah, that's right. I'll find out.
Yeah. All right. So, let's talk quick numbers.
Sure.
So, 70 units in smaller town, right?
Yeah, small town Ontario.
Small town Ontario. What's the purchase price?
Right now we're batting around at like $950.
$950, and it's in their court or your court? You have to sign off on it right now.
I've signed off on it. It's at their lawyer, just waiting for
lawyer
just to
review.
Make sure we're not throwing any curveballs in there, which we're not.
Fair enough. And you're going to get financing from a bank or a credit union.
Yes.
And they're, something like this, what are they going to give you? Around 65%?
Yeah, 65% loan to value.
Yeah, and like fixed term, or you can take variable, interest only.
I like variable just like you, but yeah. I guess we'll see what kind of terms they give us. So.
I like interest only better. Let's be honest. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
put a VTB into the deal. We'll see if he goes for it. If we end up having to negotiate over some stuff that we found that we didn't like at the end, then hopefully we'll.
So how much is the VTB?
I asked for $100,000. I didn't want to ask for everything. But.
Okay, so it's 10%.
Yeah.
So you get, the credit union gives you 65%. He gives you 10%. So you're putting 25% down.
That'd be nice. Better.
So once you what'd you call it again? Rejig the rent? No, what is it?
Just right size the rent.
Right size. Right size the rent. We're going to go with that. Sounds politically correct. So once you right size the rent, what's the cash flow on something like this?
Cash flow per month. I should have brought my spreadsheet with me. It's good though. With the return, and maybe you have a part-time admin taking some calls and stuff like that. You could even outsource it to a call center. I haven't really looked into all the options yet, but I've got people in house they're looking after all my units, and I could just say, look, you might need to take the odd call for storage units.
Yeah.
Nobody really has to go out there, so if unit's ready, it's going to be cleaned out. The lock will be off. Or I just get like a local person, boots on the ground, that can handle that kind of stuff once a month or here and there. So
estimate, what are you going to cash flow? Okay, just guess. We're not going to hold you to it.
$3-4 grand a month.
So $3-4 grand a month. So your downstroke is, so you're getting $625 from the bank. You got $100 from thing. So what is that? $725, $225 plus some closing costs. Let's call it $300 grand. Is that kind of what you're looking at as an investment?
$300, $350.
$350, and then you're going to cash flow $4 grand a month. So $50 grand a year. That's not bad.
I've been looking for one of these. Some of my best clients or your tenants are people that rent my parking spots, people that rent my garages out. So it's just the same thing on a much bigger scale.
For sure.
And it's not massive. There's people out there that have hundreds and hundreds of units on one site, but this is a good way to kind of segue into it.
And there's a lot of people out there that ask because they want to get in storage units for that specific reason. So how did you find the deal?
Off market.
Off market, yeah, okay. But how?
By knowing people, right?
By knowing people, yeah.
It came through someone that I knew that was looking for storage, and she didn't have enough money to make a move on it. And she heard a deal was falling apart. She introduced me to the realtor. I said, hey, if anything comes of it, I'll help you out. I'll take care of you too. And he's just the kind of person that he's an older gentleman, and he goes and finds these things. If he knows someone's looking for storage, he's just an old school realtor, been doing it for 40 years, and he'll go and talk to other people, and you know,
Amazing.
The way business is done, right?
So talking to people who own the storage units. Who would have thought?
It's rocket science.
Rocket science. Well,
you can't just Google, find me a deal, and it happens. You got to actually go and do a little bit of work and communicate and have some conversations.
Guarantee that guy's not on Google.
No.
Not on Facebook.
No.
No Instagram. Definitely no TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah. This guy just goes and door knocks, and does he work that specific area, or?
He does. He looks for storage, and he looks for multifamily. So now that I know him, I said, hey, I'm looking for multifamily too. So he said, hey, I got some stuff coming down the pipeline the next year.
All in that Sarnia area?
Yeah, all in the area.
So if you guys are looking, maybe Corey will assign that deal to you because it's too small for him.
That's right. Stay in touch.
Stay in touch. End of the day, you build it. We're sitting here 2 years from now. 90 units have been built on there. What's the end cash flow on that? Like, what's?
Well, depending on what we can refinance it for, right? I mean, if I can just pull out the majority of my position.
Okay, I'm happy, right? You're in for, let's call it $1,050,000 to start. You've built out those other 90 units. What's that cost you?
About $5,000 a unit. So for another
450,
something like that. They say I could do it for less, but I'm like, show me that. Show me the quotes.
So you're in for 1.5, and the bank is gonna finance you at 6.5 cap, 7 cap.
I think 6 cap. I mean, that's what I got appraised at. So.
Okay. Well, even then, like, let's even say, but 6.5. You're gonna burr this.
Yes.
100%. This is
for sure.
Like 100% burr, and then afterwards you're gonna be sitting on what, $8,000-9,000 cash flow a month.
Yeah, it's gonna go up.
And people say like, there's no deals out there right now.
You just gotta have to actually I think a lot of people just don't understand what it takes to go find their own stuff, right? There's people that are selling their properties off market all the time, or to people that they know or like or trust or whatever, right? Not everything hits the MLS. I wish I actually had a stat or a guesstimate. I kind of guess like 25% of stuff maybe doesn't even hit the MLS.
Wow, I think
bigger it gets,
in commercial for sure, because this, no offense, putting it on MLS is a hassle, right? You get a lot of tire kickers. You get a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Like, I just offered on 5-unit portfolio in Edmonton. It's all off market. I'm going to probably end up buying 2 of those and assigning 1 of them, and the 2 others, I think, guys, a little bit out to lunch. But it just came from, I was talking to my lawyer, said, hey, we're looking to buy more units. Oh, well, you should talk to these guys. These guys have a lot of units. So we set up a call, and they're like, we have something for you. We'll send it. And like literally all within a week, I did a $6 million deal with these guys.
It sounds simple, but so many people these days, they don't want to get on the phone, or they're afraid to ask that extra question, like, hey, who should I know, or who else should I be talking to, or just to let you know, like, people think it's tooting their own horn, we want to buy more, I'm awesome, or something. No, it's like you're just letting the world know what you actually want. So. Yeah,
like, you just let your contractor know, let your lawyer know, like, if you're a networking event, let people know.
Mortgage broker. I mean, mortgage broker. Part on financing all the time.
Right. Like, I mean, the deal ahead of you fell apart.
Yeah.
Because you took it over from someone.
That's right.
And it fell apart.
I got like 50 attachments in my email because they're like, this is all the stuff that's already been figured out by the other guy.
And the credit union's already set up and everything. Well, that's amazing. That sounds like a great deal. Yeah, guys, everyone smash the like button for Corey's great deal. And if you guys are interested in storage units, well, comment down below. I've always been interested in it. I've never put in the work to find any of it. And really, mainly because I've been buying multis the whole time. So
yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, congratulations on that deal, man. We look forward to having you back on in about a year and actually running through all the numbers, and you can tell us, oh yeah, this is actually what happened. We built this many out, and this is the refinance. Because I know everybody on the channel is looking forward to our first 15 unit that we're just finishing the renovation on our last 3 units. And then we're going to get refinanced on that. And that's when we're going to do the video. So everyone stay tuned and we'll catch you next time. Thanks again, Corey.
No worries. Thanks, guys.